What if looking 30 at 60 wasn't luck? It was a subscription service you simply couldn't afford. The longevity industrial complex is a real, measurable market, worth an estimated $25 billion in 2023, selling the biological clock's pause button exclusively to people who can cover the bill. One definition before we spend a cent: health span, the years you spend fully functional, not just lifespan. The entire industry sells health span extension. That distinction is everything. The menu at the top of the wealth pyramid includes genetic sequencing, NAD+ infusions, hyperbaric oxygen chambers, cryotherapy, stem cell therapy, senolytics, and something called plasma exchange, and that's before the skincare. NAD+, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is a coenzyme every cell uses to produce energy and repair DNA. By your 40s, your levels have dropped roughly 50% from their peak. When NAD+ drops, mitochondria, your cellular power plants, turn sluggish. Sirtuins, the proteins that police DNA damage, go quiet. The result is accelerated cellular aging, which researchers at Harvard's Sinclair lab confirmed in mice by 2013. Here's where the theater begins. A single NAD+ IV infusion costs between $500 and $1,000 per session. Human clinical evidence that it meaningfully extends health span? Still preliminary as of 2024. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy pressurizes pure oxygen at 1.5 to 3 atmospheres, forcing it into plasma and tissue. A 2021 Tel Aviv University study showed it lengthened telomeres by 20% in older adults, a genuinely striking result. But the Tel Aviv study had 35 participants. 35. Replication in larger cohorts hasn't happened yet. A striking result in a tiny sample is a hypothesis, not a prescription, no matter how beautiful the chamber looks. Cryotherapy chambers blast liquid nitrogen mist at -110 Celsius for 3 minutes. Elite athletes swear by the recovery benefits. Longevity benefits in healthy adults? A 2022 Cochrane review found insufficient evidence to draw any firm conclusion. Some of this menu is expensive theater. A 2018 placebo-controlled trial in Class 1 found that sham cryotherapy, cold air, no nitrogen, produced recovery outcomes statistically identical to the real procedure. The industry counts on the placebo being luxurious. Now for the interventions where the science actually earns its invoice. Rapamycin, an immunosuppressant originally developed for organ transplants, inhibits mTOR, a cellular growth regulator tied to aging across multiple species. In 2009, the National Institute on Aging's Interventions Testing Program found rapamycin extended median lifespan in mice by 14% in males and 21% in females, even when dosing started late in life. But mice aren't people. Rapamycin suppresses the immune system, a real trade-off. Longevity physicians like Peter Attia now prescribe it off-label in low intermittent doses, betting the risk-reward ratio favors the patient. That bet isn't yet proven. Continuous glucose monitors, CGMs, were designed for diabetics. Wealthy biohackers now wear them constantly, using real-time blood sugar data to optimize every meal. The underlying metabolic science is solid. Chronic glucose spikes drive glycation, sugar molecules binding to proteins and stiffening tissue, including arterial walls. Stanford's Michael Snyder showed in 2020 that CGM data in healthy adults reveals metabolic dysfunction invisible to standard blood tests. Here's the counterintuitive twist. A basic fitness tracker costs under. Now for the wildest item on the menu. Plasma exchange, replacing your blood plasma with albumin solution to flush age-related proteins. Alkahest, a San Francisco biotech, has been running trials since 2018 targeting Alzheimer's and aging markers. A single plasma exchange session costs approximately $10,000 to $20,000. Brian Johnson, the tech entrepreneur spending $2 million annually on his longevity protocol, included plasma exchange before dropping it after inconclusive personal results. Brian Johnson's blueprint protocol documented publicly since 2021, involves 111 supplements daily, a vegan diet calibrated to the calorie, and nightly sleep monitoring. His biological age tests, by his own metrics, show measurable improvement. His methodology? Disputed. The measurement tool the industry now relies on is the epigenetic clock, specifically Steve Horvath's 2013 DNA clock, which reads methylation patterns on DNA to estimate biological versus chronological age. It's the speedometer for this entire race. Here's the tension the longevity industry doesn't want trending. The 3 interventions with the strongest longevity evidence in humans cost almost nothing: exercise, sleep, and caloric moderation. A 2022 JAMA Network Open meta-analysis of over 116,000 adults found that 150 to 300 minutes of moderate exercise weekly reduced all-cause mortality risk by up to 31%. No IV drip required, no marble suite necessary. On sleep, a 2021 study by Gao and colleagues in Nature Aging linked chronic short sleep to accelerated DNA methylation aging, the exact metric Horvath's clock measures. Elevated cortisol, suppressed immunity, faster biological aging, every marker the longevity industry charges to fix. Caloric restriction, eating roughly 20% fewer calories without malnutrition, activates the same sirtuin pathways that NAD+ infusions tried to stimulate. The 2022 calorie trial at Duke confirmed measurable metabolic improvement in humans after just 2 years. The sirtuin pathways that cost $750 per IV session to nudge, you can activate them by eating slightly less. The longevity industry has spent billions marketing a workaround for discipline that costs nothing but consistency. The supplement tier, NMN, resveratrol, spermidine, fisetin, is where the gap between marketing and evidence runs widest. NMN raises NAD+ levels in blood. Whether that translates to health span improvement in humans remains, as of 2024, unproven. Here's the bigger implication. The longevity industrial complex is quietly privatizing the science of aging. Most trials are funded by companies whose investors are also the trial participants. A conflict of interest with a very large price tag. In 2022, Altos Labs raised $3 billion, the largest biotech launch in history, to research cellular reprogramming. Its investors include Jeff Bezos. The science is real. Who benefits first is a question of access, not biology. How do you separate proven science from expensive theater? Ask 3 questions. Has this been tested in humans, not mice, in a randomized controlled trial, with a sample larger than one extremely wealthy person's self-experiment? And here's the detail the industry's own data keeps producing. In the longest-lived populations on Earth, Okinawa, Sardinia, Loma Linda, not one centenarian has ever been found on a rapamycin protocol or a plasma exchange schedule. Their longevity runs on exactly the cheap tier. Before you spend $1 on the longevity menu, spend 8 hours sleeping, 30 minutes walking, and the intellectual honesty to ask who funded the study telling you otherwise. That alone is the most evidence-based anti-aging protocol money can't buy.